What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Honey, coming in here with a really super quick video. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button as well as the bell right next to it. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up. It's like saying, hey, Miss Honey, as well as comment down below. I wanted to come in real quick and talk about Wendy Williams. I have seen a lot of videos on Wendy Williams. I have read a lot of commentary about Wendy Williams, and I get what everyone is saying. Wendy Williams has been acting weird for the last couple of months or so. She, had this incident last year where she fell out, and then she came back strong, and it seemed like everything was going great. She's got this Graves' disease, and she had been on this really super strict diet. She changed all of that. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, some many months later, Wendy Williams has a fractured arm. She has this fractured arm, and she's wearing it in this sling all these different ways. And the thing she does is comes out and she hollers on, and then she runs over to the chair, like a bouncing letter P, and sits down in the chair. So it's weird when they come on and she's in the chair and she's got this arm all chicken winged up, and she's got one, and when she first came on, here's the thing. I think Wendy Williams tells you everything that's going on in her life. People want her to come out. They want her to talk. She's not back at the show. She had this hurt arm. Then she was slurring her words. Then she came out and said she was on pain medication. That's why she was slurring her words. She was going to take a break. Then she left to go take the break. She was going to come back in a couple of days. She didn't come back in a couple of days. She was going to come back in a couple of weeks. She didn't come back in a couple of weeks. And then she was going to come back on a certain date. And she didn't come back on that date. Now they got Nick Cannon hosting the show. And Nick Cannon is doing pretty good. So now everybody's talking about Wendy Williams is afraid she's going to lose her show. Wendy Williams has always been afraid that she's going to lose her show. That's why Wendy Williams is never, ever off. Remember when Wendy went down with that dizzy spell or whatever it was and passed out on stage and everybody was talking about it? Wendy Williams was back the next day, boo. She went home and laid down and rested, and she was back at it. She don't want nobody else to sit in that chair because of this exact thing. This is what I'm saying. People want Wendy to come out and tell us what's going on, and she's afraid she's gonna lose her show. Tell us what's happening, what's going on with you and Kevin and the kid and the mistress, and her having a baby, and him selling the house, and then him cussing out the staff while she was down and out and sick in the body, sick and shut in back at the house or wherever she is, because they done took a picture of her coming out of a grocery store, a convenience store, or Walgreens or CVS or something, and she looked bad. She looked mighty bad. She really does, okay? But Wendy Williams has told us everything that's going on. The advice that she is giving to other people, she's talking about herself. Wendy Williams said, I can't remember what star she said it about, but it's a star that was having issues in their marriage, and she said, let me tell you what to do. The smart thing to do is, as soon as your child gets out of high school and off to college, then you do the divorce. Okay? I think if there's any contention going on with Wendy Williams and her husband, it's about the money. It's about the money. It's about who gonna get what. That's what it is. If he's strong and arming her about anything, it's about her trying to take it all and go. If anything, okay? I'm telling you, but Wendy Williams is telling you. She's telling you when she's talking about other people's stuff, she's telling you what's going on with her. She really is. I'm telling you. Of course, Wendy Williams is afraid she's going to lose her show. She's always been afraid of it, especially when you're a woman of a certain age. You always waiting for that teeny bopper to come in the door and take your spot. That's why she don't like to be out. This is probably killing her that she's out. The reason why Wendy can't come back, it's a good reason why Wendy can't come back. Okay? It's something serious going on with Wendy. And I say we let Wendy work this thing out. And don't push her into this wrong place. And let me tell you why. Every time I see stories about Wendy Williams, I think about Joan Rivers. Y'all remember Joan Rivers? Some of my honeybees may be too young to remember Joan Rivers. But listen, Joan Rivers was very, very popular back in, I would say, 80s, 90s, all right? She was really, really popular with like the Rat Pack type group. She was a saucy woman. She didn't bite her tongue. She could hang with the boys. She could join with the boys. She was the first, if I'm not mistaken, female to do the Johnny Carson show, to guest host while he was out. Speaking of being able to step in when somebody's out. Joan Rivers did that. She was the first woman to guest host that show. Okay, and something happened. She said something or she did something. I can't remember what it was, but Johnny Carson banned her. He banned her from the show, and he blacklisted her. Okay, put her name, same thing TD Jakes did to No More Sheets. Okay, Juanita Bynum. They don't say nothing directly. They just shut all of the coin down. They put you in a real dry place. They cash you down in the loading bar. That's what they did. That's what they did to Joan Rivers. And she spent a long time like just being able to come just like so far. Just so far. But Joan Rivers was very, very popular. What was her catchphrase? Can we talk? Can we talk? Okay? How you doing? Can we talk? How you doing? Okay? Well, just like Wendy Williams, you know, she had burned a lot of bridges. And she had said a lot of things. And she got a lot of people pissed off at her. And then she went radio silent for a little while. Then we know it's the Wendy Williams Show. And she, how you doing? Okay? And she's big. She's huge. People love the hot topics. I don't usually watch her interviews unless there's something specific going on, like that Omarosa interview. Ooh, I could watch that over and over, baby. That was good shade. Good shade on both parts. But I usually watch the hot topics on YouTube just to catch up on what's going on, and I move on about my business, right? Plus, I know Wendy likes to drop personal tea during hot topics, okay? All right. So she comes back with Wendy Williams Show, and there's this resurgence. Same thing with Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers has this period of time where she was accepted back from Johnny Carson, and then she was on doing shows and back on nighttime TV and had her on this and had her on that, and she was just getting big. And then there was this lull, and then she comes back as a part of this fashion critique show on E, which I don't know why I can't think of the name of it. I used to watch it all the time. Anyway, that's how long it's been since I was. They even brought Nene on. They brought Kathy Griffin on, but we're going to talk about that. Anyway, so she makes this reappearance because she was like on E Entertainment, like the E Entertainment talk show that they have out, where they talk about the fashions and all this. And this was just red carpet talk, where she was doing so good with the hosting and the talking. They brought her in this after show. This after show is where they go through all the outfits, and Joan Rivers was a hit. Now, by this time, Joan Rivers is in her late 70s, late 70s, early 80s at this point, and she's a hit. Her and her daughter, who's much older now, Melissa Rivers, who has a child as well, they had their own show that was really, really good. Joan was back popping. Like, she sent that whole after show fashion conversation, she sent that through the roof. Huge platform. All the while she's getting little nips and tucks. Like Wendy Williams as well. Joan Rivers had a lot of tragedy. She had this whole thing with Johnny Carson, which was really crippling her career. She had her husband kill himself. Melissa's father killed himself. It was some type of financial stress he was going through, in depression, and something happened with the money. He killed himself. That's how she built herself up all over again. She never did remarry. So fast forward, she's doing this E Entertainment fashion after show critique show, and she's doing great. She's got her own show with Melissa. That show did really, really well. And Joan Rivers goes out to have a little minor surgery. Joan Rivers never recovered. Something happened in surgery where she went into distress. They put her in a medically induced coma, feeling like, you know, this is, you know, and she never came back. She passed on. Joan Rivers died. Joan Rivers died. It was so sudden. It was so sudden. Like, it wasn't sudden, but it was sudden. And this is what I think about every time I think about Wendy Williams. When I see her looking bad, when I see her slurring her words, I see that she is in this weird place. So I am 100% okay with Wendy taking a moment and doing what she got to do. Because if anybody can come back, if anybody can rebuild, if anybody can restructure, okay, and come out on top, it's Wendy. Wendy can do this. She can do this, but she's got to be smart. She's got to be smart about it, right? Says a lot that she's over with a friend instead of at home with Kevin and Kevin. Says a lot. Wendy needs to take care of herself. Wendy needs to see about herself mentally and physically. And that's all I got to say about Wendy Williams. Y'all keep Wendy Williams lifted in prayer. I know she hasn't been the nicest. I know she hasn't been our favorite girl. She's said some very problematic things, but she's a sister, and we got to wish her well. We got to hope good and health for her. Good health for her. What she does with it is her business. It really is. But I want the best for Wendy, and I don't want no man being the reason why she crawls up somewhere and lays down and dies. She don't need to do that. She needs to protect herself. Okay? Joan Rivers didn't need no more surgery. She didn't need no more surgery. Joan Rivers was fine the way she was. Okay? Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holla.